Hi ladies and gents, Romie Reviews here. Please like, comment, subscribe. This is my review for Married to Medicine, the Season 6 reunion, Part 3. So we're going to start off with Quad and her husband Greg. So Quad has decided, I guess it was a matter of time. They haven't seen each other for a while now, and it was an interesting situation, to say the least. There was a lot going on, so there's a lot to get through. There's a lot to cover. I guess we can start it off with Quad and Greg are both hurt. I think Quad and Greg really thought, I think they were younger and immature when they got together. They probably saw things in each other that it was like, well, this could turn into this, or this could turn into that. So they got together, they got engaged, they got married. I think the reality is they never really wanted the same things. We hear from them being on this reunion, and one thing is I can appreciate honesty and straightforwardness. At the end of the day, there was abuse in their relationship, and that's something that, cannot be tolerated, period. So that's why I definitely didn't want them to get back together. That's why I was irritated when people were saying, after they heard that, they were like, you can make it work. I'm thinking, wow, this is the prime example of people hearing what they want to hear. Someone just acknowledged that there was abuse in the relationship, and the other person said, yeah, that's true, but it wasn't just me. And the other person was like, yeah, that's true, but here's why. That all within itself is crazy to make. And but Quad, she didn't want to say it, but she does still have feelings for her husband. He's definitely still has general feelings for her. There were multiple conversations. Apparently, Greg, at one point, he dragged her or something, and that's maybe when the police report occurred, because she went and got a knife and stabbed him, or tried to stab him in defense or retaliation. But I could see them having verbal spats. I can see them being verbally abusive. I can see Greg trying to down talk Quad in order to his way of trying to big himself up and kind to gain control over someone who has a very strong personality, which again isn't the right thing to do. I just want to make that very clear. But I do think that their relationship mutually was toxic. I think the reality is Quad probably thought, she would be open to having kids with this guy, but we found out that they haven't been having sex for years. And I can believe that Quad didn't want her husband anymore. Why would she? Because she said that he's been cheating on her. He said that no, he wasn't physically cheating. I'm thinking, okay. Quad is confused because she was trying to figure out, if we were able to do the deed before and now you're not able to perform, then what's going on? Because I still look the same. What's the problem? He was like, I'm tired. I was building a business. Come on. I'm thinking, but you guys not doing it, period. Come on. I don't know how their relationship was, so I'm not going to sit here and act like I do. What I do know is that where there's smoke, there's fire. And where there's fire, there's heat and flames. And where there's heat and flames, there's supposed to be passion. And so that's where their arguments and spats probably partially came from. But Andy comes to a realization, this relationship is over. The relationship is over. The relationship is done. And we're just going to have to move on from that. And they even hug it out. But it was just very odd. They actually both seem at peace, even though Quad still kind of has feelings for her husband. So when the rest of the cast comes back out, Quad acknowledges that she still has love for him, and it doesn't make sense. It was like, because at some point things were good. And the fact that he seems even keel right now and receptive to what you're saying is making you feel a certain way. That happens all the time. The cast felt like, it's crazy how... First off, let's talk about the guys. The guys, because they're still friends with Greg, which after me hearing about the abuse stuff, I would need to go and say, hey, Greg, what the heck was going on? Like, really, just really, what was going on? Because you cannot be a part of something like that. Period. But Dr. Damon talked about how he felt like, it's one of those things where Quad still has love for her husband, and maybe he was alluding to a breakthrough could have occurred if she was able to go and verbalize it. I'm thinking, no, there's no breakthrough that needs to occur. Just like how Contessa and Heavenly, they didn't know that abuse was occurring in their relationship because Quad never said anything. Quad acknowledged that she never said anything because that just wasn't her thing to be that upfront and honest, which is exactly why people were complaining that Quad wasn't straightforward and honest. See how it all comes full circle? But then we have Toya and Mariah, who were saying that they felt like, look, Mariah was more so the one that was saying, hey, well, Toya backed Mariah up with, he didn't say that he hit her, and Quad didn't say that he hit her. He didn't punch her, he didn't slap her out. And I'm thinking, we're talking about abuse. Period. That's part of the problem with our society. Well, we did this or we did that. No, you can't have that type of mess in a relationship. Period. On either sides. That's not the way how to handle your feelings or emotions. Okay? Now, the Quad opens up again. Like I said, she discusses how she felt like this was something that she needed to handle on her own. She understands that maybe she didn't make the best choice in not being upfront and honest, and how things transpired and continued on. And she had all these issues with the group because she wasn't open and honest about it. And Dr. Simone later on came and said, Quad, her and her husband, they're going to be there to support her. If she wants it, she's not going to force it like she's been forcing it before. Which I said, thank God. Dr. Jackie still feels a certain way about Curtis. Apparently, they rolled back the clip where Dr. Jackie, she was talking to a patient, and the patient, Dr. Jackie told the patient that Curtis paused when he was asked, how was his day? And Dr. Jackie's mind went, okay, that's a lie. Whatever you're going to say next is a lie. And Curtis, of course, he's happy that they're in a better place, but the only way that he could show his wife that that's not going to happen again is if he doesn't do it. So there's that. Mariah and Aiden. Andy brings up the culture clash with their two religions and beliefs, and Mariah said that's why it's always important for her to go and do these different type of parties and celebrations where she bridges the gap and invites all of her friends and expresses to them, hey, we celebrate both. We're not sacrificing one or the other to support someone else's belief over our own. We acknowledge that both can exist in the household. And I said, okay, look at the progressiveness. So Cecil is still out of work. He took the severance pay, and Dr. Simone needs her husband to get out of the house and get back to work. So he's looking for a job, i.e., that was his way of telling the world, hey, this is what I do, hook me up. That's the reason why they brought it up. Same with Dr. Aiden. Dr. Aiden, he's consulting at this point. It's been almost a year, and now he's trying to weigh his options. And realistically, it looks like he may look for work, or his best opportunity for work will be out of Atlanta, which is a problem. I should say out of Georgia, which is a problem for Mariah because she doesn't want to move. Let's see. Toya and this Antigua trip. Let's talk about her birth control. Now, I know what I said in a previous video and no one went after me. I think it's because of my general delivery of things. But I do know that whenever you take anything, it can have an effect on you in many ways. So, They were joking around the confessional during that episode when they were like, it wasn't no dang birth control. Yes, it can be birth control that made her so overly sensitive and emotional to small things. So then after that, there was a moment about people's exes, because I think Mariah said that Aiden has an ugly ex, and she actually kind of looks like Heavenly. Heavenly didn't trip, which I was surprised. Heavenly said, you know what, I can't even be mad at her because, I feel the same way. She feels the same way about Damon's ex. And everyone else is just like, yeah, everyone's ex was the ugly one. Period. This is so silly. So now on this Antigua trip, because we do need to discuss how Contessa feels like Toya did do it on purpose, because Contessa is like, her and Toya aren't in a good place. They weren't in a good place. They're constantly arguing. Toya said Contessa isn't her friend. Contessa's fake. She's a bleepity bleep. Toya said, why would you believe I would do something like that to you? And again, it was like, well, let's roll back to Eugene's birthday party, and you were upset and you were on the phone, and you said how in front of everyone how, oh, okay, yeah, well, I know you're not here because you need to go and handle, whatever it is with your father, whatever. And I'm thinking, just like what Contessa said, did Toya apologize and just kind of say, how is your father? And she didn't. At least from Contessa's recollection, she didn't, and Toya didn't say that she did, which had me wondering, there's something to this. There is something to this, and that's not a good thing. That is not a good thing. From that, we have Toya was upset because Contessa, again, consistently talking about her finances. Toya is moving into a new house. They have money, so the house is actually being built. And I said, oh, that's what progress on a house being built looks like in a respectable time frame when you can afford it. Okay. All right. And she is getting her 2-story closet. The wine cellar, she's getting like a wine case. That's what we'll call it. A wine pantry instead of a cellar. Which is fine. None of this really matters. What matters is Toya feels irked and irritated because she said she's not friends with Contessa. Quad, when she was going and she did the joke and she brought, that basket with the gag gifts, when Toya was confiding in her about her finances and owing money and all of that, she said, Quad is a friend. Quad did that and she's a friend. So that's why I was fine with it. But you aren't my friend. So you consistently bring it up as you try and bring a dagger instead of you being helpful. I said, I can see that. At one point, Contessa was just thankful that she said, I'm glad you guys aren't living like refugees anymore. I said, that was cringy. To me, that wasn't funny. That was cringy. Very cringy. And I know because of Contessa's military, or I should say armed forces background, that's probably what her mind went to, just kind of like but I thought, that's cringy. That's really cringy. My teeth are a lot wider than what this camera's making it look like. I'm gonna have to change the color on that. Anyway, let's see. Quad, Toya did say sorry to Contessa, and Quad co-signed and said not only did Toya say sorry, she's like, again, she feels like Toya wouldn't intentionally hit Contessa in the boob. Ever. Period. And that it was wrong. But Quad understands that if you're not close with this person and you feel like she's been doing underhanded manipulative stuff, she understands why you would feel that way. So I'm glad that she brought both perspectives, because I think a lot of people like to glance over that other side of, if I'm not cool with someone and I actually have real problems with this person, why would I think the best of them? Why? let's see. So they agree they're not friends, and they're just gonna have to deal with that. Oh wow, wow. I'm sure I'm missing some stuff, but we're almost done. We get to Dr. Jackie, and Dr. Jackie said that, well, I think everyone agrees that Dr. Jackie is the most calm and sane, and probably the best person to confide in or come to, and she's not going to, I think in the past, because of her delivery, and also if she didn't like the person, she could come off really snarky and a little extra judgmental, but at the end of the day, she's always calm. She always wants you to think. She's not just talking to hear herself talk, which is nice, because we know on this show, or at least some of these shows, that's how it is for a lot of them. Now we are going down the list of how appreciative people are about, the others. And Toya, when it gets to Toya, she said that she really understands who her real friends are and who they aren't. And Contessa said something slick. I didn't catch what she said, but I did see the looks and reactions. And I think Dr. Jackie, I haven't ignored it, but Dr. Jackie, I did notice she kind of had that look of, and I don't know if it was editing, but from my point of view, Dr. Jackie looked over like really? How old are we again? But that's it. They did show us a preview of Married to Medicine. They are trying the whole franchise thing again, and I forgot if it's supposed to be LA or something. So who knows? Maybe this is Mariah's way of going into a new group. You never know. I mean, this isn't slick. I think one of the cast members' friends is on the show. So that's it. Please like, comment, subscribe. And, oh yes. I have a new channel. It's not contents like this. It's actually, have you heard of ASMR? Well, I have a new channel where I'll be whispering or talking softly and all this, doing all that, and because it just looks fun, and I want to enjoy myself, and because sometimes this can feel like work, and I feel like that would be a nice little relief, and so I just want to let you guys know the channel's called Romie Whispers ASMR or ASMR, and the channel is up. There's no content yet, but stay tuned, subscribe, because it'll be a nice time. Try something new.